Hello and welcome. Dr. Karen Can here, founder of the Academy of Light Medicine and the TOLPAKAN Healing Method. And today I have a very special guest. It's actually Nissa. She is one of our certified TOLPAKAN healing practitioners. And I'm super excited to interview her today because she has a very interesting past. I'll let her tell some of that story. So, Nissa, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Dr. Karen. Yeah, how did I start with this path? Well, what did I used to do beforehand was I was in corporate America. I was working at a major consulting and accounting firm in New York City. I was a director of financial fraud investigations, a forensic CPA, basically. So, and I specialized in bribery and corruption cases. Yeah, completely different than what I'm doing now. And a lot of people are very interested in that path. This is also what has led me to, what I'm specializing in now in some ways, because it's with this investigative mindset, this curiosity for knowledge, it's totally aligned with Tolpakan, where we want to get to the root causes. We want as much information as possible. We want to know how everything started from beginning to end, and we don't want to just leave anything unturned. Or so, yeah, this is what I found was very in alignment, actually, was with what I used to do. And it was just a matter of switching from focusing on accountability of like perpetrators and fraudsters to accountability of clients and friends and family. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's so interesting. Like, I've never worked in corporate America, but I know quite a few of my friends have, and the energy is very different. Like,
Right.
as a healer, I mean, yes, as a business person, there's some masculine energy is required, some structure, that kind of thing, but there's a lot of fluidity to that. So I was just curious, like, you have this corporate background, and of course, in a very sensitive area like fraud and that kind of stuff, and there's probably a lot of maybe dark energies there. Like, how did you like kind of like segue into healing? It just seems like a big jump.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think well, it's unique how I started, but I don't think it's unique how the universe kind of brings you abundance challenges and brings you basically to your knees. Everybody has a different bottom, I always say, like how low before they finally like wake up and change their life. So for me, it was just a chain of traumatic events. I was already unfulfilled. I was already a workaholic. I was in this fast-paced lifestyle in New York City. I was in a toxic relationship. There was betrayal. There was narcissism.
Mm.
Then I lost a friend to alcoholism,
Oh,
and
wow.
and then the following year, I got a cancer diagnosis through just a routine checkup, health checkup. So I'm very grateful that it was caught early, but still, that happened. And then I thought, okay, nothing worse can happen now. But then, yeah, I got the news that my mom, my bipolar mom, committed suicide. So
Wow.
that's when I was like, okay, something has got to change. This is a big wake up call.
Mm.
And I significantly changed my life, like to the, as much as I could, like drastically in terms of my lifestyle, my diet, all those things. But it, I was still not getting to where I needed to be.
Mm.
And eventually, like as soon as I set the intention of like, I really want to heal, it's like my first energy healing modality just landed in my lap. And it just blew my mind that, like, oh my God, there's this whole other world that I didn't realize. Like, there was this whole, and I just wanted to, as soon as I started healing myself, I just was like, I wanted to spread the word, I wanted to get the word out and convince everybody else and help other people. So yeah, and it was a no-brainer at that point. Like this is where my soul mission was.
Wow. It is amazing to me how many stories that I've heard, and yours is a pretty intense one, I gotta say,
Yeah.
of that wake up call of going down a path, myself included. Going down a path where the universe may have given us some signals like, not that way, not that way. not that way. You know? And then finally we get to that point where we almost have to go through all that in order to really put us on that path. And so now you've done different modalities, you've experienced different things. Just curious, like you started level one, and then like made you decide to do the practitioner training? Like, was it like results that you were getting, or what was it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, TOLPAKAN is such a powerful modality. Like the healing frequencies are just so intense, so strong, so profound. That in itself was, a huge selling point for me. But it just was so great in terms what I had mentioned earlier about how it just seamlessly integrates all the other modalities that I've ever learned,
Mm,
and it gives me so much information than other modalities. Like other modalities, it's like you're getting a massage or something like that, where it's like, yeah, you're fixing it, but then it goes right back, and you don't know what it is that caused it in the first place. So having all this extra information, like the level of depth, like that depth, that's just like unmatched. I haven't seen that in any other modalities. So yeah, as soon as you announced like applications were open for a level 2, I could just feel my like soul was like jumping up and down, and I was just like, sign me up, it has to be now.
oh wow, that is so cool. Now, did you get any like a personal story, or maybe somebody that you worked with, a volunteer, or a client, a personal story with Topican healing that you want to maybe share or highlight, something that really stood out to you?
Oh yeah, I have a fun one, an interesting one, and I think it kind of goes along with one of my mottos, which I'll talk about later. But what was unique about it is that yes, she had all these health issues, lifelong health issues, chronic fatigue, gut issues. We were when I was testing, it was like showing that she was in that like 60-70% range across like all of her physical, dimensional, energetic, all that. But what was unique is that even though she was focused on her health issues, as soon as we did her first general session, it was she's missing a higher self. So it's not, again, this is not something you normally would think of unless you had this level of knowledge, right? And so downloading her a new higher self, and then a few weeks later, and she's already saying how she's just kind of like floating above and feeling so enlightened and detached from all this like personal drama. She felt, just like, yeah, just detached from all the human stuff, basically. And she's definitely sure that it's because of this higher self, new higher self that she had. So yeah, it just goes to show, like, yes, we could be focused on our health issues, but we can also actually hope to not only be healthy, but just actually transcend and become like this calmer, happier, peaceful, joyful person that's more in control of their life and their emotions.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. I love that story. It's like what you were saying is like we can focus on one thing, or this is my problem. And then when we do Topican healing, we can discover, oh, wait, there's another aspect over here that we never would have thought of, given like we're thinking about health, right? And then as
Mm.
you come full circle, then everything starts to shift and change. Our perceptions change, our lives start to change. It's not just about the health issue. So yeah, that's very exciting. That's very cool. Thanks for sharing that. Now, were there areas I like to ask this,
Mhm.
in like Topican healing level 2, like did you have any challenging aspects in there for you that you overcame?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I would say, I mean, it's great, right? Because this is what we want. We want to evolve, we want to expand, we want to grow. So, but just be prepared to have that. Well, for me personally, what was happening is that every week that we had a new module, the universe was co-creating these experiences in real life in 3D. Like, I'll give you some examples. Like, I made a vision statement for myself, and then 2 days later, like, I met a future romantic partner, and he was triggering all my like romantic patterns and issues and stuff. So it was just like, wow, okay, this is learning in 3D. This is learning in real, not just like theory where you're like reading and learning. This is like in real life, school of life. So Definitely did not predict that, and so it was quite intense. But this is how you. I mean, this is why this modality has been. This program has probably been the most transformative out of any other one that I've taken. Where because you are going through this like in real life, you're going through these abundance challenges, and the universe is giving you what you are committing to. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so it sounds like you really got that visceral, I'm committing to this. And then the
Yes.
universe goes, oh, great, here's this. This is next,
Yes.
this is next, this is next. Did it help you, personally, did you feel, did it help you to have the mentorship or to have the group sessions, to have that support?
Oh, absolutely. I also like I haven't seen any other program like this where someone with your healing abilities or gifts are like giving this much of your time to us and like this much
Mm.
personal attention and mentorship. And what's unique too is that you go into helping us, launching our practice and helping us like grow it, make it thrive, and give us all the like the lessons that you learned so that we don't have to repeat them ourselves. I just
Oh
haven't
yeah,
seen
a
that
lot
with
of
any.
those.
Yeah, but I just haven't seen that level of mentorship with anyone.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
very
Yeah,
helpful.
thanks for sharing that. I guess this is turning into a Tuppercan 2 commercial. Didn't mean for it to be that way, but thank you very much. It's kind of funny, right? Because it's true. Like I'll go, hey guys, I made this boo boo. Right? You don't have to make this boo boo. I made this boo boo already.
Exactly.
And this is what's going on in the boo boo. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's true. I personally also, I mean, with the exception of one, mentor who were, colleagues, friends now, right? So we can kind of share this kind of intimate stuff in the business and know we're gonna keep that, respectfully confidential and all that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, you don't see the teachers saying like all the errors that I made.
Yeah.
And this might come up for you, this might come up for you, this might come up for you. So yeah, yeah. So thank you for acknowledging that. I really appreciate you saying that.
No, thank you.
Now, do you have a favorite moment or a favorite part of the whole process of certifying that you could think of?
A favorite moment. I mean,
Or favorite part of the whole program for you?
yeah, I mean, I do love having like this community, this small
Mm.
cohort where like we can kind of rely on each other and go like we're still in touch now. We try to meet every couple weeks. But yeah, I mean, obviously the biggest, like I said, someone who's such a master healer doesn't spend that much one-on-one time. So I do obviously get the most with the one-on-ones that you did give
Sure, sure.
us. I learned the most, and actually, with you helping me with again the issues that the universe is manifesting in order to help me learn. So, for example, with like some bad insomnia issues, which I had never had in my entire life, but I knew was like part of this lesson, and all the things that we had to get through to figure out, like it to drill down to resolve it. Then all of a sudden, I was noting all my clients, all my friends, all my family members were having insomnia, and so I was like, oh, I can do this. Already
Wow.
got
Yeah, that
through
was
it.
a deep dive, if I recall. Quite a
Yeah,
deep dive. We discovered things together.
yeah.
New things because it's the modality is always evolving. The quality questions are where it's at, of course. So that was super, super fun. It was really wonderful, to have you in the last class, the last cohort, because we got to learn together, we got to evolve together, shift things, and I just love seeing you grow and blossom. And I'm excited for you to share with us, like, who is like the best person to work with you. I mean, you have this really varied background, so maybe you can share with us who might be a good fit for you.
Yeah, so it makes sense, right? Given my background, my corporate background, I'm known as the spiritual evolution ambassador. So I specialize in working with high performing leaders, change makers, entrepreneurs, people who have probably mastered their careers professionally, but maybe struggling with health issues or personal relationships, similar to how I started. And I really help them, empower them to align better with their divine gifts and their superpowers so that they can evolve and become this highest, greatest version of themselves. and that's what I'm passionate about, is seeing them thriving in like 360 degrees of abundance, living
Mm.
the life of their dreams, and just elevating their communities to even greater heights.
That is beautiful. I got chills. I got chills just listen. I know you shared it with me before, but every time you share it, I just get this like vibe, like, oh yeah, this is so awesome. Because and I have worked for some from corporate folks, but it's not generally who comes to see me. You know what I mean? And it's fun and exciting, but I've never been in a corporate, right? So only now am I getting to that place where I kind of get the whole, how you have to be, you know what I mean, that
Oh yeah.
and everything like that. So it's still fairly new, but it's so awesome to have, a certified Topican healing practitioner, if I should say so myself, on our referral roster that is very familiar with the whole culture, the stress, what's involved, the personalities, the obligations. Yeah, it's so great to have that. So I'm just so super psyched that you're specializing in this space. Of course, I mean, oftentimes they will have people who might not be corporate, but are friends and family, that would refer to you. Because I know
Right.
for you personally that friends and family and connections and relationships are super important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, a lot. I mean, a lot of it's also kind of like this lifestyle that I'm leading, kind of this nomadic lifestyle. So mostly everyone that I'm friends with is also an entrepreneur, self-starter. So it all actually lines up pretty well. And so yeah, most of my business is from referrals and
mhm,
friends,
wonderful.
and yeah, so everything's perfectly aligned.
Oh, that's perfect. And by the way, that reminds me, we're gonna put a link near this video where you can connect with Nissa in case you're interested. And after hearing what you're hearing, and it might be a fit, you can go ahead and book a call. Can you tell us a little bit about what happens on the call, Nissa?
Sure. It's a 15-minute consultation, and we'll go over what your healing goals are, and then we'll do a quick like mini reading on where you're at, and figure out like where we need to focus, because sometimes where you think we need to focus and where source thinks is completely different. And then we'll also, see if it's a good fit, and then we'll go from there.
Mm. Oh, sounds great. Fantastic. Again, we're just going to put that link down below so you connect with Nissa, learn a little bit more about her. And then Nissa, would just to end, would love to know like if you had any piece of advice or a key advice on, people on their healing journey.
Absolutely. And this one is very close to my heart. So I would say, in a nutshell, be proactive versus reactive to your healing journey. And I'm the first person to have experienced that firsthand. So if you are an older soul, sensitive soul, the universe wants you to evolve, or you want to evolve, your higher self wants you to evolve. If you do not push yourself out of your comfort zone and try to set high goals for yourself, healing goals, the universe is going to choose an abundance challenge for you, and it's probably not going to be as pleasant as if you could choose one proactively for yourself. So yeah, be proactive, don't be reactive. Don't just get to equilibrium and think that that's going to be forever, because nothing is going to stay forever the same.
Oh man, that is a really good piece of advice. In fact, I loved it so much that I actually put something similar on one of my classes, a slide that says choose your challenges, or otherwise the universe will choose them for you. And we sometimes will not like it.
Right.
So I've since, learned that very, very valuable lesson. So that's why people go, wow, you're really a high achiever. And I'm like, yes, but I don't like react, but like with stress the way I used to, because I know that by doing that, I'm already growing and evolving with self-compassion, and I'm not just letting whatever happen, reacting to it, and the universe has to hit me over the head with a 2x4 to get me to change and evolve. So that's a very good piece of advice. Thank you, Nissa, so much for being with us today. I truly
Thank
appreciate
you.
you and wish you all the best in your journeys ahead.
Thank you.